a doctor's appointment and a hospital appointment. And the phone rang about 6:30. And it was Mitesh. Tell her to hurry up. So I went up the phone down and I said, look Jess, you know what he's like, some duties. He's going mad because you're still here. She left at about 6:30. We went back to work the next morning. Jess's brother and his wife were there. And that's when they said to us, oh, Jess is no longer with us. Someone's burgled the house and killed Jess. And we were like, obviously it was just that massive shock to us all.
I've just come home. I was just out. I went to get something to eat and see the lads at work and get my laptop.
Yeah.
Come home and the house is ransacked and she's just on the floor. She's got duct tape all over her and it's like unconscious.
Right.
Can I take this duct tape off her?
Can she breathe?
Well, no, because she was unconscious.
Take the duct tape off of that.
No, Jazz, come on, baby, wake up. Baby, wake up.
The police began to investigate Mitesh's alibi. The day Mitesh came in, it was the 14th of May, 2018. It was a Monday. We were really busy at the time. I can't remember exactly the time, but I think it was around 7 and 8. And then he stayed for a couple of minutes and he said he would be back. He was just going back to the pharmacy.
He'd never usually come back to the shop after he'd finished. He said he just nipped out to get pizza and he popped in to get something from the shop. And he was in the back storage room for about half an hour, which basically the back storage room, it just stored shop stuff like toilet rolls, the rest of that type of thing. And you could tell it was a bit twitchy. It was, you know, a bit. It wasn't right because I actually said to the other farmer said that was a bit weird, wasn't it? Going, yeah, he was acting a bit weird.
He came back, I would say, at least 20 minutes. When he came back, he came to the counter. I served him his pizza. I shook his hand. He paid with cash.
He came back into the shop the day after she'd been killed. He gave me a cuddle and it was like such like, I mean, I'm no body language expert, but it was just such a false cry. You know, this must have happened when I came in to see you and the other pharmacist.
Suspicion quickly points to Mitesh.
The police discover that the victim, Jessica, has in fact been injected with insulin, which is a very bizarre thing for burglars to do.
Vials of insulin were found in his laptop case and one of them was empty.
So they start to piece together a picture where it appears that Mitesh has initially tried to use insulin to kill Jessica. And when this doesn't work, he resorts to strangling his wife with his own bare hands. And suffocating her with a plastic bag.
He presumably was clever enough or calculating enough to choose insulin rather than to choose, say, morphine or pethidine because he knew that that might be found on a post-mortem. He imagined that an overdose of insulin would never be uncovered. But he clearly got the dose wrong. She was not completely subdued. When you're going into an episode of low blood sugar, so-called hypoglycemia, to begin with, in the early stages, you become disorientated, you become confused, and you may become aggressive. It may well be that she was anything but ready to be strangled without putting up a fight. Now, whether he used the insulin to subdue her and needed to try and throttle her with the plastic bag in order to make it look like an intruder. Who knows? Regardless, he left clues everywhere. As a plan, it was more full of holes than Swiss cheese. Mitesh's DNA was found under her fingernail. There were scratches underneath his neck, and while he claimed he'd scratched his neck at the gym, somebody at the gym completely contradicted this. He left the duct tape that he used to bind her at the pharmacy.
He'd forgotten about CCTV.
Mitesh is caught on CCTV, fleeing from the house, leaving Jessica's dead body in the house. And then under the bed, in a suitcase of clothes, police discover the hard drive to the CCTV. Mitesh is so cavalier with all that technology because of the sense of his own entitlement and his own protectedness somehow.
What we've got in this case is primary staging. The Patel stages the bedroom to make it look like his wife has been the victim of a burglary that's gone wrong. We also have examples of verbal staging along with this by going to the pizza shop, by going to the pharmacy, by trying to plant a thought in the people within the pizza shop and the pharmacy that the burglary must have taken place whilst he had been talking to them. He's trying to stage an alibi for himself. I know it's just a kind of almost whimsical point. If you think about it culturally, why do we shake people's hands? We shake hands to show that we are unarmed. We shake hands to show that we're safe, that we can be trusted. Of course, ironically, that's not what we should think about Patel at all. He's not safe. He's dangerous. He's just killed his wife.
Mitesh had been the prime suspect in his wife's murder, as far as the police were concerned, right from the outset, and it took them only 3 days to arrest him on suspicion of murder.
This is kind of one of the nice areas of Middlesbrough, so we don't hear anything like this really around here, you know. So obviously when we heard about it, I think the whole community around here was in big shock. You know, nobody was expecting this. At the time I didn't think anything at all, but when I look back now, and you know, you kind of replay everything in your mind. His behaviour seemed off, you know, he was pacing around, he seemed a little nervous, and, you know, kind of unsettled in himself, you know.
Isn't it interesting as well that we've got a form of verbal staging going on when Patel speaks to the staff? He says he's taking the pizza home to his wife. It just so happens that one of the staff had recently lost his wife. His wife had passed. And Patel offers his condolences. He offers his condolences in the circumstances in which he's just actually killed his wife. It's quite an extraordinary psychological mixture of real emotion. You've just lost your wife, I feel sorry for you, and the sense that he had been entitled to take his own wife's life because it's a form almost of righteous slaughter. He was entitled to do what it was that he wanted to do.
I put my hand out to shake his hand, and I felt like he was really hesitant, you know, to do the same for me, to shake my hand in return. But he's never normally like that. I didn't understand at the time why, but obviously hearing the news that he murdered his wife and come back to pick a pizza up, you know, I understand completely. You know what they say, when you have blood on your hands, you know, you can't wash it off.